Hi everybody, this is Tim Hanschen with Edina Realty. I'm here with my partner.
Hey, this is Deanna Barton, Edina Realty as well. We're just starting off with a new endeavor, and we like to educate people on what we know about real estate so we can help others reach their goals and dreams. So this is the first of that initiative, and I'm here with Tim today. I'm going to ask him a couple questions. The biggest question we normally get, and this is an offhanded question that people always ask, is how's the market? What's the market update? So Tim, what would you say to someone when you're asked that question?
Well, it's a tough question to answer immediately because I'm going to say what market? The free agent market? The Twins just signed Sergio Romo for a year. But if you're talking about the real estate market, it's kind of a broad question. And so what part of the market are you talking about? Buying, selling, starter home?
Let's say I'm interested in buying my first home, a starter home, something under $250,000. What would that look like as far as availability, what's out there in inventory?
Yeah. Well, I pulled some data from the MLS, which is our Bible in the real estate world. It's all the data. And if I look at it here, I see that the month's supply of homes is down 4% from last year. And having sold in the last 4 spring markets, I can tell you there's more buyers than there are sellers. And that's what this data tells us. So if you're going to buy in this market under 250 or even under 300, you're going to have a lot of competition. So it's very important to put your dream down on paper when you're going to buy a house and what you want in a house, and share that with us. And then we can help. But the market is down. The average price as far as inventory, the average price of a home now in the Twin Cities area is $280,000. That's up 6% from a year ago.
Wow, what an increase.
Yeah, so houses are appreciating, and there's always a chance that you can get some equity when you buy a home. But for the starter home market, my best thought there is that you have to be prepared and educate yourself with houses, and that's what we do. We set people up on searches on the MLS so they can see everything's out there. Because when you get in that house that you know is it, you have to be ready to bid. And it takes a lot of education ahead of time. We don't want anyone doing any of this without being educated, of course. And that's what our goal is to let people know what is the market before they get ready to buy or sell.
So you said that being prepared and ready to move, what does that look like? What would you suggest to people that they have ready to go before they start the home search process?
Yeah, well, the first thing, of course, you want to do is get pre-approved. You want to get a lender to pre-approve you. We have lenders we work with in our office in Coon Rapids that can help you. And you get pre-approved and you get a letter saying that you can buy a house up to so much money. And the lenders will work with you and they'll let you know what you qualify for. And sometimes people qualify for more than they're comfortable with. But the first thing we need to do is find out what you can afford or what you're comfortable with. And then at that point, we set up a search for you on the MLS that will show the houses in that price range, and you can start looking and you can start dreaming. I always tell my clients the best thing to do is make a list of your wish list, your dream list. It's more important to say what you cannot live without. It's got to have this. Your dream list, I'd like it to have this, and things that I can't live without, like a garage or a fenced yards, or people need different things. And then you can start educating yourself on the market by visually looking at these houses. And then when you're pre-approved, you've looked at some houses, and then we can go out on a tour and start looking at some of these houses and see which ones may be a good fit for you.
So being pre-approved, understanding your must-haves versus your nice-to-haves, getting an idea of what's out there by just going through the search and the houses that come up on your search and then taking a look at them. Is that kind of in a nutshell how it would work to just start the process of identifying your home?
Absolutely. Of course, you want to know your areas as well. Some people want to be in the same school district they're in now, or they want to live closer to downtown, further from downtown, by public transportation, whatever. We try and work with buyers ahead of time and get all the information so that we can best represent them. Communication is key. We talk to each other. It's a tough market, but is it impossible? Absolutely not. We get buyers and homes in these tight markets all the time. We have all kinds of tips that we can give them. How to get a home in multiple offers. There's lots of tips. There's a love letter that you write to the seller of the home that helps them to understand who you are and what your intentions are for the property. And there's some ground rules we use for that I won't go into all of them right now, but I will when we meet with people. And there's just all different ways that you can make your offer look better than the others. We have lots of tips, too many to go into here, but as we go through individually with people buying a house, that's where negotiating comes in.
Well, I know you are a master negotiator. That has been your strong suit for many years with the United States Postal Service. So does that come in handy when you're working with your clients?
Absolutely. I did negotiate contracts and a lot of things for 18,000 employees, most of Minnesota and Wisconsin. So I dealt with some strong adversaries that wanted their way, and the company wanted their way. And getting to yes is a big part of negotiating. You can't always get what you want, but our goal is to get what you need. You can't just push people over, but it's always nice when you can get just more than you expected. And that's what we aim to do, is get people happy into their first home or their second home, or people starting over. But the starter home is the most trying part of the market.
That's where the biggest challenge is, as far as the inventory available, and I guess that would be about it, mostly inventory, correct?
Yep, and that's what makes it so such a good time for people selling starter homes, because there's such a high demand for them that they can get top dollar right now, and you can get some decent terms, but nonetheless, the parties have to come together and agree to a deal. So that's where negotiating comes in. The only way we win is if our client wins and they get the house they want, or if we're representing a seller, that we get them what they want.
So you talked a little bit about the starter homes. Would you say that's up to the $250, $300 price range within there?
Yeah, 300 and less is getting to be the starter home. It's because the average price of a home now, according to our data here from the MLS of October 19, is $280. That's up from $265 from a year ago.
Okay, and that's point in time data I just kind of want to mention. So that's comparing October of 2018 to October of 2019.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
And the data can change, but it's been consistent over the last few years. It's been going up 3 to 5% a year. And historically, Minnesota has been a pretty steady rise in real estate values, except for the time period around the late 2000s, when the financial fallout with all the foreclosure crisis.
Well, that is another huge topic, I'm sure.
It is, and I don't know that we have time to cover
later.
that. That's not part of our current market update, but our current market update is inventory's down a little bit for the lower price homes. Now for people that are buying above 300,
that's what I was going to ask
and 4
you
and
about.
500,000, there's much more selection available. And it's actually, you get more time. You know, the starter home, sometimes you have to make a decision. If you don't make a decision soon, a lot of times with starter homes, they're gone. You know, you move on. But we don't want anyone bidding on houses until they're comfortable, and that's why the preliminary, where do you want to live, what do you want, what do you need, so you know when you walk into a house, what is my good fit. And but the higher priced homes, it's a little bit easier, a little bit more inventory available, so you can be a little more selective. Some of them are staying on the market a lot longer. The average days on market, according to overall in the MLS, is 48 days. That's down, or 46 days. That's down from 48 days, down 4% from a year ago. So the inventory is moving rather quick. And in the last 30 days, there's been a price adjustment on 31% of the homes. So that means it's more than likely it's been lowered, but some of them may have raised it if they did an update or something from the time they listed it. But so overall, the market is strong for the starter home, very strong, good time to sell, not impossible to buy though. That's the thing. People think I'm just going to wait it out till the next crash, and we don't even know if that'll ever happen again.
Well, in the meantime, we all need a place to live. So waiting it out might not be the best choice anyway. You got to live somewhere, right?
Right, and that's where we like to help people. They can sit down with the mortgage or the loan officer, figure out what their payment would be, and if they're renting, they can compare apples to apples. What am I paying? What could I pay to get in a home? That's another subject we'll cover later, is renting versus owning. But if people want to have their own home, they may be surprised to know that in many cases, it's cheaper to own right now than it is to rent.
Well, that's a great market update and very exciting for both buyers and sellers. There's a lot that can happen as far as getting the best deals for sellers. There's a lot of opportunity to get top dollar for your property, and that's obviously what all sellers would want.
Right. And as far as buyer goes, what's are the interest rates, Deanna? Where are the interest rates? Are they still relatively low?
Oh, the interest rates are historically low. We get regular updates with that, and they haven't been this low. Interest rates, they haven't even actually started capturing what they are until like 1971. We are at 1971 or better levels. Back in the 80s, they were in the 16%. Now we're looking at interest rates around 4 or less. That's very, very possible. So huge opportunity to get the most for your money, where you can buy a more expensive house because you're not paying as much for interest.
So when a buyer gets pre-qualified, then will they be able to get an idea? Does the loan officer kind of tell them what the current rate is? And of course, it's a shifting thing, correct?
It is a shifting thing, and the interest rates can change on a daily basis. They haven't fluctuated very much in the recent past, so they're pretty solid. After you work with your loan officer, they're going to give you your estimate of what your payment's going to look like. And from there, you can understand whether or not that's a home you can afford, or possibly maybe even go for something a little bit more expensive. Increase your dreams and get that next notch up.
And that helps these buyers so they know what they qualify for, like we said, as well as what they can afford.
Yeah.
And the lower interest rate makes it so it can be more affordable. And like I just kind of mentioned, sometimes it's cheaper than rent in this state.
Absolutely.
To own a home is cheaper than rent in many cases.
Absolutely. And the other thing that you need to think about is when you purchase your home, you're kind of locking in your payment forever, unless obviously property taxes can fluctuate, insurance charges can fluctuate. But unless you refinance your home, that is basically what your house payment is going to be staying at.
That's nice. And we're going to go over this a little bit more when we do a renting versus buying
Absolutely.
subject. But so the market, as we've said, is strong is because the interest rates are so low for buyers, and it's strong for sellers in the starter home range. Those under 300, it's pretty strong. And when somebody's going to sell their home, we can help them get their house ready to sell so that they can capture as much as possible.
Yeah. With Edina Realty, we have so many different things to educate us on what the best bang for your buck is. And we walk through that, as you know. You'll walk through with a client's home and go room by room, help you decide, does this room, should we paint it? Should you change the flooring, or leave it as is, and what the expectation and what you're going to get in return for that would be.
That's good. Yeah, because in the time I've been in real estate, I've learned so much, and sometimes we take for granted that the knowledge that we have, everybody has, and it's simply not true. When we start talking to people, how much stuff that we can educate, which is my favorite thing to do, and help people understand what they should update and what they should not update. Because we've seen people that say they want to put a new $50,000 kitchen in before they market it, and that simply is likely going to be a loss of money, unlike what it is on each.
Most likely, you're right. They aren't going to get a return at 100%.
Right, and there's lots of rules and stuff that we can tell them about. But yeah, knowing that this current market is so strong, I look forward to the spring 2020.
It's going to be busy, isn't it?
It is, and we look forward to helping as many people as we can get into their dream home or sell their house and move up, move down, downsize, right size, whatever you want to call it. People can dream, and I like to help people dream and get their dream to fit into reality, and putting the dream on paper And putting that dream in a new house is the most rewarding part of this job.
Well, and as we mentioned, with rates where they're at, you get the most for your money right now. So why not take advantage of it, right?
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a great time to buy. And I don't know what else to say about it other than the interest rates pretty much speak loud and clear that buying is, it's a good time to buy.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. This is the beginning of our endeavor to educate and help people understand more about real estate and get the best for the best homes or sales for themselves. So we're very excited to bring this information to you. Our goal is just to help you understand what's going on so you can achieve your real estate goals. Tim, what would you like to say to everybody?
Thank you very much, everybody. Like, follow, share. We've got a lot more for you. Thanks so much.